listening to the Deep Purple Podcast, a fan podcast devoted to one of the greatest bands in rock history, Deep Purple. Your hosts, Nate and John, cover their shared history with the band, discover new music together, and cover the farthest reaches of the Deep Purple family tree and beyond. Here's Nate and John now.
Welcome to the Deep Purple Podcast, a fan podcast devoted to one of the greatest bands in rock history, Deep Purple. Today's episode is episode number 324, Whitesnake, Good to Be Bad, Part 2. And coming to you from the suburbs of Chicago, where it's good to feel bad, I'm your host, Nathan Beaudry.
And coming to you from the suburbs of Providence, I'm your co-host, John Deep Purdre Matola.
Yeah, Deep Purdre. Oh, do we have those pictures?
I don't know. I've been walking around thinking that all day and just laughing.
Yeah, so what's the story behind Deep Purdre?
So was it you or was it Nick from Pot of Thunder who sent a text to our chat group?
It was Nick.
Nick, and he sent us a picture, and he said he asked AI to imagine Fat Albert as a guest on the Deep Purple podcast, and it showed a wildly inaccurate picture of someone that didn't look like Fat Albert being interviewed by a woman, and on the back it just said,
and there were microphones around. It looked like a podcast thing you'd see on, when somebody has a video, a higher end podcast where they're doing
exactly
more video.
But then in the background there was a banner, and we all know that AI gets letters and numbers wrong,
spell,
and so
for some reason, of all the things it can do, it's like it just can't. It can put words together. Like if you didn't speak English or really even understand the English characters, I'm sure you'd be like, oh, those are some English words. Like if it did AI for Japanese, you'd be like, oh yeah, that looks like Japanese.
Right. All right. Well, that makes more sense. Yeah.
It spells just nonsense.
Right. But I mean, this was nonsense that we could actually pronounce. And so on a big banner behind it, it said the Deep Purdre Podcast.
Got a good deal on it because it was misspelled. Every time I saw it, I kept thinking Purdue, like the chicken. I guess the chicken isn't spelled like that. It's more like the university is spelled like that, Purdue. But I kept seeing it and thinking Purdue, but it was Purdre.
Yeah, R-E. Yeah. And so my next comment was well, this, AI obviously isn't perfected because typically it turns me into an Asian woman.
Yes.
To which Nick sent us another picture of a beautiful Asian woman wearing a Deep Purdre podcast t-shirt. And Nick said, this is John wearing his Deep Purdre shirt. And wasn't that it was a picture of Christopher Columbus on it or something?
Yeah, it was something weird. It looked like something you'd see in a church, like stained glass or something, but it said Deep Purdre. Yeah, AI always wants to turn you into an attractive Asian woman. I think it's because it's trained on, these stuff that these nerd losers put into it, and they're all, hot for Asian women. So they just wants to turn everybody and everything into a hot Asian woman.
Yes, he said AI John wearing his Deep Purdre shirt, and there she is looking. There's just a beautiful Asian woman. It says Deep Purdre, and it's actually a really you would look at that and be like, oh wow, it's actually a real picture. But the shirt's a kind of a medium blue color, and it looks like I don't know, it looks like a picture of somebody from Planet of the Apes steering a ship.
Yeah, that's really weird. I think we'll have to put those pictures into the show notes.
Oh, actually, I forgot. In between I said a podcast devoted to one of the most obscure bands in rock history, Deep Purple, and then Nick sent us a picture of what Deep Purple would look like, and the guitar player looks like Keanu Reeves.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the
Yeah.
band shot.
Yeah, there's like two singers and one guitar player, and it looks like there could be a drummer in the back. So I don't know what kind of band this could be, but
No, new podcast coming soon. Wait for it.
yeah, it's yeah. So, anyways, yeah, and then we got poor Nate feeling bad.
Yeah, like it was. I was feeling really bad the last. I worked like Friday, Saturday, and felt terrible. And I left a little early on Saturday and just came home and crashed. And I felt crappy all day yesterday. I felt crappy all day today. And I'm like, oh, good. I get to go back to work tomorrow if I'm lucky enough to feel better. Yeah, but just like coughing and sneezing and blowing my nose and stuff. I have a feeling I'm going to wake up tomorrow feeling fine and be like, awesome. I just like wasted my days off. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's not a waste if we're recording a new episode of the Deep Purple podcast. But you heard from our co-host, John.
We got John Matola. Yeah, that bum is back in town. He's a mother.
And I am Nate.
And it looks like Nathan's another victim.
That's right, folks. We got some new entry jingles for us from courtesy of Mark Roback.
So how did my name get in there?
I think it's because he had Tony Matola. I don't know how he made him say John.
Yeah, exactly. I
It
thought,
sounds-
did you like?
He must have edited it. Let's listen again. I've got a short version.
We got John Matola.
Yes, it sounds
Yeah.
like legit, but it's
No, it
Tony
does. I thought
Mottola
maybe. Well, I thought maybe since we were talking about AI, maybe you AI created, a big band intro for me.
Nope. I think the Roback
Thank
has
you.
just been making clips. He must have just stitched that together, or maybe used AI. I don't know.
Yeah,
Everything's
thanks,
freaking
Mark.
AI now. The world's falling apart. It's terrible.
Yeah, for all you know, I'm not even here.
This isn't
I have
the
my-
real John died 3 years ago. Luckily we had so many episodes of you recorded that we were able to just put together an AI composite.
Oh, that'd be wild, huh?
Yeah, right. It's like they did you heard of the Dio hologram. This is the John AI.
The John hologram.
The John hologram. But yeah, folks, we're back at you with another episode ready to dig into the second part of this Whitesnake album. Of course, if you want to support our show, you need to remember that the Deep Purple podcast is 100% listener supported and ad-free, continues to be ad-free since day one. So if you receive some value from our show, please consider supporting us and giving us some value back. You can do so some free ways just by like leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. But you can also buy some merch at our Etsy store, become a patron on Patreon or on PayPal, or support us on Cash App or Ko-fi. Also, there's super thanks available on YouTube, so I'm told. And supporting the show gets you access to our patrons-only Discord, our rating spreadsheet, invites for our live stream episode, links for submissions for our album rankings episode, and access to our band video episodes on Patreon, which there've been a few lately. So you'll get some access to those if you want to check them out. But before...
Every
What's
time
that?
you say band episodes, I don't think like band, like they're not allowed. I always think band episodes. I'm like, they're all band episodes. It's Deep Purple, you dummy.
Yeah, how is there a different way we should say that? Like our forbidden episodes? No, that sounds just that dirty.
X-rated.
There's a nip slip in that episode, so that's why you get the
Forbidden. No, I think that sounds kind of, yeah, that maybe it'll drive more people there. And
it's forbidden episodes.
the forbidden episodes, it's like, ooh, what happened? Nothing.
This episode features a love that dare not speak its name. And that is some obscure song that for some reason is on YouTube, but they won't allow in an episode.
The love for Deep Purple.
The love for Deep Purple. Yes. So speaking of patrons, we do have a couple of announcements.
New patron.
We have a new patron joining us. That is Matt R. Joining us at the $3 Nobody's Perfect tier. Have not received a welcome note from Matt R yet, but there is more news.
New patron.
And that is that Ralphie, the postcard sending dude from Tennessee or Kentucky, has joined us at the $5 money lender tier. And here's the weird part. So he sent a welcome video. And if you're in the Discord, you've already seen this because he posted it there. This is his welcome video. It's the first time we've ever had a welcome video. I don't think we've even done audio before. So I'm going to cue this up, see if I can share this screen. Make sure we share the sound. There's Ralphie. And he's going to talk. So let's hear what he has to say.
Hey, Nate, it's Ralphie. It's good to talk to you. I just wanted to tell you, I hope you're enjoying my postcards. And I'm not a rich man, and I'm not your friend, Rich, either. I don't know why you don't remember meeting me down in Nashville. I hope to meet you again real soon. You have a good, deep, purpley day.
So there you go.
All right, first of all, that should be banned because there was a double nip slip.
Yeah, that's I was actually thinking that might get us banned on YouTube because he was, if you're listening on our audio podcast, he was a I guess the best way to put it, a hillbilly looking gentleman in overalls with no shirt and nipples slipping out of both sides of the overalls.
Well, he also kind of sounds like Mr. Herbert from Family Guy, but without the whispering thing.
I thought he sounded like Steve Coldwell.
So wait a minute. Yeah, but Steve doesn't sound like Mr. Herbert.
Well, Steve,
You'll have a deep purpley day now.
Well, it doesn't sound like Steve. It sounds like Steve doing a voice of a Southerner.
All right, no, I can hear that now.
That was what I got from it.
But I'm not gonna. I distance myself from any conspiracy theories that it's Rich or possibly Steve. Now,
well, it's a very elaborate at this point. I can't even tell you how big the stack of postcards that are arriving in completely random order is. Although he references different episodes, so I've been trying to kind of keep them in chronological order as best I can. But we're going to be reading these postcards till the end of time. But yes, Ralphie is joining us and is officially giving us money. So I don't know.
Thanks, Ralphie.
That's why we know it's not Rich.
You said
also,
that.
And I also know it's not the Gardeau because he is using full postcard. Full stamps, not postcard stamps. And Gardeau, even for an advanced plot of this nature, could not bring himself to use a full value stamp on a postcard. Whenever somebody does that, he calls them out. So maybe he's just thrown caution to the wind, but it can't be the Gardeau. So I guess the mystery continues, folks. But before we get to some postcards from Ralphie and others, we do have to thank our patrons, and that is our executive level patrons coming in at the in memoriam tier. We have the wonderful late Gerald, Jerry, Kelly, and family. At the $25 uncommon man tier, we have Ovis, Nakfi, and Purple Maniac. At the 20 is plenty tier, we have Alan. At the 10-pound good doctor tier, we have Dr. Mike Catan. And at the turn it up to $11 tier, Clay Wambacher, Frank T.L., God Mortensen, Mickelstein, Will Porter, PhDPP, and Michael, don't call him Bradford Bagford. At the $10 someone came tier, Ryan M., Jeff Bryce, Victor Campos, Better Call Saul Evans. And Peter from Illinois. Then at the Deep Thoughts by John Matola tier, it's Fielding Fowler.
What little I do know, I mean, I did do a little research, so I wouldn't be sitting here like a dummy the whole time, but...
Sorry, I forgot the intro part.
All right, well, go ahead, do it again.
And now, Deep Thoughts
by John Mottola.
But what little I do know, I mean, I did do a little research, so I wouldn't be sitting here like a dummy the whole time. But I like when you hear the beginning of your laugh after that before it gets cut off.
So that brings us to the aforementioned postcard segment. And that is, of course, postcards from the edge of Connecticut. I've got a couple here. This one I came in real late. It's an Easter card that looks like it's from the 60s. And that's the thing, I think, well, it's funny enough because even with these full charge stamps, they just come in whenever. Like, I know they're getting mailed in a certain order, but you'll get, if 3 postcards mailed on the same day, you'll get 1 a month later and 2 at the same time. But anyway, Nate and John. Now here's an Easter greeting for you, Pete. And then it says, he drew an arrow to where the postcard stamp is. It says, place domestic stamp, 1 cent. So this is probably an old. It says, a card of Easter greeting, and though the words are few, my wishes are as sincere as the violets are blue. That's wonderful. Then we've got another one. Greetings from Connecticut, matching the namesake of this segment. This is a paid. This is prepaid by what is it? That vintage, local vintage. It says, Nate. Now here's a greeting from Connecticut for you, Peter. And that one was much more recent. And then
that's a lazy one right there.
Yes.
Has he ever sent us one from actual Connecticut?
Yeah, well, probably. But I think he sent a few, but it's branched out. And then this one, look at this. This is very interesting because I got this in the mail literally like a day after I was looking at this exact postcard on eBay. And if you look behind me, I have the poster, the full-size poster of this postcard, which is the Deep Purple Stormbringer logo, Perfect Strangers logo, Stormbringer background, and in rock faces. And it says Deep Purple, Perfect Strangers Tour 85. And it says 1985, February, March. Hey, Nate. Now here's a Deep Purple postcard for you. I went to one of the shows at the Worcester Centrum, and so did Rich, the Roback. It's a beautiful postcard. And then I got this in the mail, which was with no note, but it says Rory Gallagher, Irish Tour 74. So I figured it was from our Rory Gallagher expert, Mr. Roback, and indeed it was. So very nice of him to send me that CD and listen to some live Rory soon. And then I'm just going to give you the most relevant recent 2 Ralphie postcards. This one features Elvis Presley on it. And it's authentic recipe from Elvis's cookbook, which, funny enough, one of my coworkers had back in the day. We had it in our office. It says, Dear Nate, episode 16 was informative. Enjoy this recipe. Do you like special sauce? Thanks, Ralphie. And then this one, also from Nashville. It says Nashville, and it's got all these little pigs. It says, having a wonderful time in Nashville with all the country music lovers. And it's like prostitute pigs and scantily clad pigs, like old Western saloon style, with some kind of cowboy looking guys. And it says, Dear Nate, I am up to episode 17. I am really pigging out. Be swell, Ralphie. Which induced an eye roll from John. Then I got a letter from my bank that says, we discovered that beginning April 1st, 2022, there was an incorrect calculation involving the prime rate in California. My bank's not based in California. I don't live in California, but it says, this resulted in the balance in your account ending in blah, 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 being charged a higher interest rate for a period of time before being corrected on April 9th. We corrected the interest rate on April 9th, 2024, so over 2 years later, and recently applied a credit in the amount of 59 cents to your account for the refund of the overcharged interest. You see this credit reflected in your upcoming statement. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. Caused a lot of inconvenience. I was wondering why my numbers were so off. I couldn't make my checkbook balance. And now I think, though, we can both quit our jobs and do the podcast full time with that fat 59 cent payout.
I didn't know where that was going. I mean, you're getting a letter from your bank. I thought they'd be like, here's an escrow statement for you.
No, I got a letter from my bank, and sometimes they'll just send you hey, by the way, but get another loan or something. They're trying to sell you something. So I was like, but then you're like, it's from the bank, so I should probably look at it because who knows? And
Right.
apparently they bilked me out of 59 cents 2 years ago.
Bastards. All right.
Unbelievable.
Well, anyways,
Should I start
my
the jingle
segment
again?
No, my segment won't take that long.
I'm gonna start it again anyway.
Oh, okay. Anyways, I got here we are on there. CDs from the edge of Connecticut. So I also got a Rory Gallagher
Oh,
CD, but I also got this one.
oh, nice! Live in Europe.
Live in Europe, which I started listening to that one, and that's from my our good friend the Roback. So
Great stuff.
Thank you, the Roback. Appreciate
Yes,
it.
it's nice. Listen to that stuff. I have listened to a lot of I'll just put like the Rory Gallagher on Spotify or whatever, and if my my father-in-law's coming over because he loves Rory Gallagher, I'll put on an album and then it'll start playing live stuff. So very, very good stuff. Like it.
Yeah.
Now, slightly more consequential, I did get this package in the mail. This is from overseas, and that's just empty cardboard. This is pretty huge. So for a long time ago, many years ago, a program for the live performance of Butterfly Ball at the Albert Hall came up in eBay, and I bid on it, and then I waited till the last second, and somebody bilked me out of it, and I was so pissed that I didn't get it. And Jeff Bryce was the one who brought it to my attention, so I made a eBay alert for if this ever came up again, let me know. And it's been dormant for a long time, but the other day, it alerted me, and look what came in. This is the live program. It's like a tour book. It's like a full tour book.
Wow, now is that original?
It's original, and not only that, but
Looks like
so
it's in
there's
good
only
shape.
a few people on planet Earth right now that know that I have this, and when this goes out, everyone's going to know, but you'll be the first of just a small handful to know. It is autographed by almost everybody
Whoa.
on the Butterfly Ball.
Whoa. Now, are these actual signatures?
Oh yeah, it's legit.
It's not, what do you call it? Like a
Not
copy?
replica. Nope.
No?
So apparently the story goes that I'm putting this back in the
Wow.
plastic. It's probably the last time I'm ever going to touch it. Some people are probably freaking out that I touched it at all. But I do have a scan of a screenshot I can show you to take a better look. So the story goes that before the Butterfly Ball, they had this Bud Flanagan Leukemia Fund that they were doing this whole show for. All the proceeds went to it. They didn't make any money off the show. And
They call it the Bud Flanagan Ball?
the Buddy Fly Flanagan Ball. So from what was told to me, there was a small handful. They said maybe a half a dozen of these programs that were signed by almost everybody that performed that night, and they were sold for £5 each to go to the charity, which to me is like very, very inexpensive. Sadly, I paid a lot more than £5 for this, as you can probably imagine. But so this is, I'll share my screen with you so you can actually see all the signatures. This is
Yeah, I was going to say, who's almost everybody? Let's see.
well, that's the real question. So if you look at this, you can see some very obvious. What I did was I took this into Photoshop and boom, I did Dymo labels for everybody's name. So this shows you all the different signatures. So we've got, and then you see one that's highlighted. That's the only one that I cannot positively identify. So I've reached out to a few people. Some people I reached out to confirmed, but we've got Twiggy, Eddie Jobson, Liza Strike, Les Binks, Eddie Harden, Earl Jordan, Barry St. John, John Lord, John Lawton, Ray Fenwick, Mo Foster, Mark Nossie, Mickey Lee Soul, Glenn Hughes, Al Matthews, David Coverdale, Ian Gillan, Martin Ford, Helen Chappelle, Vincent Price, Chris Karan,
Wow.
and then on the right-hand side here, Roger Glover and Del Newman, who was the conductor that night.
Wow. Now, have you looked at anybody that hasn't signed it and tried to figure out if that's there?
Yes, that is exactly what I did. And I have narrowed it down. So people that didn't sign it, John Gustafson reached out to his daughter and his wife. They both confirmed that that is not his signature, which I didn't think so after looking at them. I looked at Tony Ashton's signature. I was really hoping it was either Tony or John Gustafson. It doesn't look like the Tony Ashton signatures I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I reached out to Judy Glover, Roger's ex-wife, have not heard back. I'm like, maybe that's Judy Glover. I don't know. The only other people it could possibly be would be Mike Moran. I looked up his signature. It looks like just anybody wrote Mike Moran in big block letters, so I don't think it's him. So that really leaves us with David Katz, Neil Lancaster, Judy Glover, or Jack Emblau. I can't, and I have no idea. So I'm going to reach out to some experts. I did reach out to somebody on Ovis's recommendation that I haven't heard back from on yet, just trying to figure out who that last signature is from.
That is a noodle scratcher.
Yeah, because it's completely illegible. But
I mean, that's a very impressive collection of signatures here.
Yes. And yes, it's very, very impressive. And like I said, it was sold by a very reputable rock and roll memorabilia place. And actually I reached out to Jeff Bryce because he's the one who told me about the program and how it comes up every so often. And he said that the place, he has bought multiple collectibles from this seller that is totally legit. So, but if you look at the signatures too, and again, it would be a weird thing to scam people on because this is not like this is if it was like the first Led Zeppelin album signed by all the Led Zeppelin guys, you'd be like, okay, you could probably find a sucker to buy that, but I don't think there's a huge market for this. So yeah, I reached out to Eddie Hardin's daughter, who's wonderful, and just to show her because she was very interested in this, and a few other people, but just got it in, super excited. This is like an amazing collectible. And just got to find out who that last signature is.
Well, regardless, you may leave this to me in your will.
Yes, I will leave it to you. So obviously it was not super cheap, but it was one of those things that came up and it was like, if there's any ever, A, you're probably never going to see something like this again. And B, there's nothing that could speak more to me than this.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything. The only thing missing is potentially John Gustafson and Tony Ashton's signatures. So there you go, folks. That was a big Postcards from the Edge segment. Ran through the whole song twice.
Oof. Yeah, I'm exhausted. Good night, everybody.
But yeah, maybe we could upcoming rankings episodes. Who do we think we are? Get us your rankings if you're a patron by August 18th. Looking forward to ranking the songs on that album. And here we go. We are into the album Good to Be Bad. And we left off last time with the song All for Love. So ready? Are you ready physically, mentally, emotionally to kick it to the next song on this album?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, well, it's not officially summer here yet, although it probably will be when this comes out. But the next song up is called Summer Rain. And we haven't gotten any summer or spring rain here in a while.
All we've gotten out here is rain and cold.
Yeah, been a lot of cold.
Even though I'm miles away, I can feel your love around me. You're with me every day. Out of all the roads I've traveled.
Oh, by the way, I will have the butterfly ball pictures in the show notes if anyone's interested in that program.
Oh, I'm sure there will be.
Yes.
No matter where life takes me.
So now you were left with the question, is this going to
Turned into a power
This
ballad.
Pacers are gonna. When's it gonna kick in? Oh, I like what they're doing on the guitars there. This is really like solo Coverdale. It reminds me of something sounding a little more 70s that would be on one of the first two, like on Whitesnake or North Winds.
Yeah, a lot more poppy too. Like it didn't kick into a big kind of like heavy power ballad thing. It's kind of staying in that mellow territory, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it didn't go like the late 80s route with the power ballad.
You know, I would usually say that a song like this is generic, but I mean, and I don't know why I don't feel it's generic, but it's really good.
I like it. Like I said, I mean, when I say it sounds like something off of one of those first two Coverdale solo albums, that's a high compliment for me. He's sounding very raspy on that.
Yeah, that's kind of a voice that he didn't really use until later in his career. I don't know if he really had that raspiness when he was younger.
Right, and you're going 2008, 17 years ago.
Which he still had the voice, though. He still sounded really good. It's a nice melody that's running through the song.
Yeah, I like it.
What I like about this album so far is there's a lot of like kind of easy to remember.
Yeah.
Kind of simple melodic things going through the songs. I wonder who's doing this solo. I feel like it could be a Doug Aldrich.
Could easily.
Well, because it got a lot of feel to it.
But from what I understand, it's all Reb Beach on solos.
Oh, well, you know, not that he doesn't have, feel, but wonder if they, gave more of the Weedle stuff to him,
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense. But hearing a solo like that was like a I don't have anything to prove solo, like it could have been, like you said, dweedle-dweedle-dwee. It could have been tapping. It could have like progressively gotten crazier, but it was just very slow and deliberate and melodic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like how they keep bringing that guitar melody line, that melody lean line back.
Yeah, I like it when artists do that in a song like this. 'Cause you have something really recognizable and simple that you could hum to yourself, whatever, and most of the time that's what makes you come back to listen to it.
Oh yeah, this is a catchy tune.
I'm mad that I don't hate this song. I am. I'm kind of mad about it.
Just try a little harder. You could hate it if you really wanted to.
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone's got a price.
No, I I don't know. I feel like it's one of those songs where it's like you shouldn't.
When you first heard that acoustic guitar, you're like, oh, I'm going to hate this one, or I want to hate this one, and it just couldn't pull the trigger on it.
Yeah.
Not trying hard enough.
Well, I don't know, because you think about Whitesnake in 2008, you look at this terrible album cover and you're just like, it's probably going to be a bunch of schlock on here. It's probably going to just be like boring, dated, whatever. It's really good.
I think, Coverdale's gone a long way to like remastering all of his albums and like fiddling with them constantly, which, I get. It's he can do his whatever he wants. I kind of prefer those things to be left alone, but it's his stuff. He can do whatever he wants with it. He can bring in modern Whitesnake members to redo parts and all that sort of stuff. Fine. What he really should do is bring in people to redo all these album covers. To just make them
Agreed.
like, which, I mean, in the one hand, it is this very distinctive division point between classic British Whitesnake and new American Whitesnake.
Right.
So it's very visually easy to see where the line is. But I almost wish he'd be like, just have like some, super suggestive picture with a snake and a woman on the cover of all these albums. There's got to be enough Boris Vallejo style artists out there that could crank out some of these album covers for him. Just slap the Whitesnake logo on it, and it'd be pretty good. Good to be bad, like good to be bad. It would be like one of those like sexy nuns. It's like a nun, but she's sexy. Ooh, is she good or is she bad? We don't know. And there's a snake
From a tree holding an apple.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Or it could be like the biblical like Eve thing. She's reaching for the apple and she's looking around. Is anybody looking? I hope nobody notices. It's like, sorry, lady.
See, there we go. We came
God
up with
notices.
the album cover.
Yeah,
Okay.
Eve reaching for the apple, and then the apple, but you don't realize, maybe she can't see it, but there's like a snake coming out of the apple, like a hearkening back to Come and Get It, something like that.
A white snake.
A white snake coming out of a red apple. See? Hire us, David Coverdale.
We'll reimagine
so,
everything.
Summer Rain, I would give a 5 to some actual Summer Rain if we got it so I could stop running my sprinklers. But what do you rank this Summer Rain?
I'll give this one a 4. Good track.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Short but sweet.
I feel like I
time
said
to blow my nose there.
Now I feel like I said everything during the song. It was really catchy, and it was just you, Lou.
Yeah, I was coughing.
Yeah, yeah. It was really catchy. It had I don't know what there is about this song. There's just something so like. I don't know how to describe it other than what I did is like I feel like given the time and the style of song and everything, it should be so generic and just kind of like and you don't really listen to it, but I don't know what makes it so catchy, but it really is. I mean, Coverdale is like sounding really good. The melody's good. It's just a nice ballad.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time finding fault with it as well. I will also give it a 4. I think it's a really good track. Okay. So the next track up is called Lay Down Your Love.
Lay down your love.
There you go.
Lay down on me. Lay down your love.
Okay.
Lay it down on me.
Oh, it almost sounded like a growling organ in the background, but I think it was a guitar.
Oh, nice heavy bluesy riff.
Yeah.
Now I wonder if that. Oh no.
Still of the Night.
Oh no. Why?
Yeah.
Feels so good since I found you. You're the one and only. Dream come true.
So basically, he's like, Still of the Night wasn't Zeppelin enough. So we're gonna.
I'm kind of pissed about this. Yeah, it's a good riff, though.
It is.
Just. Oh. See, that's really catchy. The acapella part that came back. I wonder if that was all Coverdale doing all the different parts in that opening bit. Like, I feel like it was, but there were some voices in there that felt like it could have been like another vocalist.
And I think they all do backing vocals when they play live.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was him doing all the different parts and all the different octaves. I don't really like that he did this with him.
See, if they didn't do the instrumental stopping with the vocals, it's like derivative of two things. Like, Still of the Night is already derivative of Zeppelin.
So it's now almost like he's referencing himself, like, "Ooh, let's see if I can strike gold twice."
Right, but to me, this sounds more derivative of Zeppelin than Still of the Night does. And it's such a tiny part of the song. Like, all he would have had to do is keep the music going, sing exactly the same words, and no one would claim this is derivative of Zeppelin. But it's hard to... I know, we do so many Coverdale episodes where we don't want to bring up the Zeppelin thing, but how do you ignore it in this case?
Well, like you pointed out, it's a small part of the song. The rest of it's pretty rockin'.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it starts off great. Woman, you.
Well, wait a minute now.
Well, he even had the delay on the vocals.
All right, so I mean, this is not a derivative part.
It's only that one little part, but it's big.
That's Red Beach.
Yes.
I mean, you said that it's like basically all the solos are him anyways, but I can hear it.
That's even more him.
Actually, song has a lot of different parts. It's not A to B type of song. It's
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know, it's got its complexities, I think. It's got a catchy chorus,
Which is, again, why it makes me curious as to why they decided to... Like, why wouldn't someone have said, hey, let's make that one part a little less... whole lot of love, and maybe we'll have something here, you know? Like, it would be really easy to make that not sound so much like that song.
yeah.
I like that ringing out of the cymbal. All right, John. Whole lot of love. I mean,
Yeah.
your love.
Well,
Lay
whole lot of
down
lay
a
down your
whole
love.
lot of love.
Whole lot of lay down your love. You know, surprisingly, I'll give it a 4.
All right.
I mean, I was thinking about it and I was just like, I was really mad. I was mad at him because I mean,
But you're
because
like,
I mean,
can't stay mad at you, David Coverdale.
well, because any song you're like, it's like, no, just knock it off. Stop that. Okay. The other thing I don't like is like when this band or any other band does a it's like with the drums and everything. It's like just it's you can't do it without it not sounding like a ripoff. I'm sorry. It's like even if it feels good in the moment, like think of something else, damn it.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, I mean, I hate to admit it. It's like it's catchy. I like it. I like the Coverdale a cappella at the beginning. Although I wish that it was sounded a little. What makes me think that it was all him, like maybe 4 or 5
Mm.
kind of overdubs of him, was this? It sounded very well. First of all, there was way too much space in between each line.
Yeah,
because
that's
we were
why I
just
was
like,
that's why I was kind of laughing because I was like, I feel like should I be talking or like it
what's he
felt
gonna
like an
what's he gonna do
awkward
next?
silence.
Yeah, exactly, right? So there was that, but it's like it also sounded really like kind of compressed, almost fake, whereas like if it
Mm.
were organic, where if it were like him and maybe half a dozen other people harmonizing together around a mic in a studio, I think it would have felt a little different.
Mm.
So that kind of took me out of it a little bit, but I liked the idea of it and I like how we brought it back in the chorus. And I mean, it was catchy. And again, he still sounds good. He's still in his era where he's not I think that the latest new thing that I caught up to in the recent years was when he did the Purple album, and
Yeah.
he sounded so raspy and like everything was his voice was just buried in the rest of the music and he was just growling and it was like obviously to cover up the fact that he wasn't he's not singing so great anymore.
Yeah,
He's
because that
not
album was
sounding
like what
like this.
2015 or something. It was
Yeah,
like so. Yeah, you're talking
yeah.
a bit later than this.
Right, exactly. But I mean, it's you can tell that the vocals are still mixed up front. He's still confident with how he's sounding. He's still sounding like classic Coverdale with a little grit, which is nice. And yeah, guitar solo was great. I think the different parts of the song were, it was a good arrangement too. It was interesting, if
Yes.
nothing else, even if there were parts that I was getting fussy about.
Yeah.
I still thought it was good. I liked it. Solid effort.
Yes. I agree with everything you said, but despite that, I am gonna have to deduct points to give it a 3 for the.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I started off and it was like, wow, this is like hard hitting. Like this whole album, I think, is surprising. With like, these are really good riffs and really, the production's much more modern sounding, but it sounds like this is the first album with this contemporary lineup that they've had for essentially on and off for almost 25 years now.
Mhm.
Assuming that are they still a band? I don't know. They just announced there was that announcement like that just happened yesterday or the day before that they're doing this Whitesnake experience thing that's endorsed, I guess, by David Coverdale, and it's going to be Dino Jalusic and Marco Mendoza and Joel Hoekstra and all them. So it's going to be like the band minus Coverdale because I think he's just can't do it. And Jalusic sounds great, man. His voice is awesome. So I mean, I think it would probably be a better experience, honestly.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, like, honestly, if you got these guys that are, I mean, none of them are spring chickens, but they're not as old as Coverdale. But it reminds me of what, I mean, it's the same but a little bit different because it was the Dio Disciples, which were basically Dio's most recent backing band before he passed away. The only difference was that Dio didn't do something like step aside and endorse it and have another singer
Yeah.
go in there. But I think the idea of it is as good is that if you have these recent or say recent within the past 20 years or whatever of these guys that have been in like a legacy band like this, and then they get a really strong singer and they go out and they do all the songs. It's like you're still getting this. Oh, I'm still getting to see Doug Aldrich and Reb Beach and Marco Mendoza and this one and that one. But you hear somebody that's not struggling to sing the songs as much as you want to see Coverdale up there.
Right.
It's I think yeah, vocalist does have a lot to do with it. I went to see or I'm sorry, I wanted to see like one of the I get recommended a lot of Deep Purple ish, Deep Purple family type stuff. So there's like a Whitesnake tribute band. I can't remember. It's like it's something like white something. What else can you call it?
White something.
White something or other. No, but it was like a Whitesnake cover band, tribute band, and like they were like I was seeing the ad for it, and they were coming around the area, and I was getting ready to say to Rich or somebody like, hey, we should go see this, and then as soon as the singer started singing, I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like it. Wasn't good enough,
Yeah.
And I mean, Coverdale's not an easy act to follow or somebody to imitate, but I mean, it's like you got to be strong, I mean, even we went to see. Yeah, I think we did. It was a different one because we went to see another Whitesnake
Mhm.
cover band, and they did like heavy on the '87 album. And I mean, the music and the vocals were just kind of like, it was,
Yeah.
great. You're having a good time, but it's like, you gotta step it up when you're doing these songs. I mean, at least put your own spin on it or something. I don't know if maybe a lot of these bands are making the mistake of trying to be too true to the original, and they can't quite hit the level of what they were doing, so it's like
He's a hard voice to emulate.
yeah, but I mean that being said, there are a lot of musicians out there that can and should do it.
I mean, there's
So,
enough former musicians in Whitesnake that you should be able to put something together.
yeah.
You can just, throw a, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. You should be able to, you can put together a lineup of all former Whitesnake people and go tour. But yeah, I think this is like a really good. I think it was a really good track. This whole album has been very surprising to me. But yes, unfortunately this one I feel like somebody in the organization should have said, like, do we got away with it for Still of the Night? Do we really want? But this one is like it's flying a little too close to the sun. Do we need
And
to
slow
do it
and
again?
easy.
And then even when they went down to that, way down inside, and then when they went to that part that was basically that, and even had the the delay on the vocals, I was like, dude, come on. A couple tiny little tweaks, this would have been a totally original song, and I think it would have, and it wouldn't have drawn those criticisms. And again, there's nothing wrong with emulating some of these great bands or trying to pay homage to them, but you're David Coverdale, you're your own person, you're in a band that's huge and that's been around way longer than Led Zeppelin ever was. Just forge a new road. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that at a certain stage, a band should have guys like us around. So when they finish a song and they have
And they
like kind
should
of like
pay
a
us a lot of money.
a listening party, we could be like, yeah, you might want to go back and try again.
Well, it's you get to a point too where it reminds me of like, of Star Wars, like with the first few Star Wars movies, and George Lucas is working this collaborative way with everyone. He gets back 20 years later, starts making these movies, but he's George Lucas, and like, who's going to question him or say, no, I don't think we should do that? Everyone's just like, whatever you want. And it's kind of the same thing with this. Like, who's going to tell David Coverdale, no, that's not right for Whitesnake? He is Whitesnake at this point and has been for a long time. So I think maybe that's it. But I still feel like a producer or somebody could have steered him away on this one song.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, and I mean, I think that's what a producer is good for, obviously. I mean, some of them, depending on who the producer is, some of them are the stories that you hear, they're more of an engineer and they tweak the
Right.
knobs, and there are other ones that come in and they help you rewrite the songs and everything. But it's like, I feel, I would like that, like, I think about the same thing too. And I'm like, if I ever got to that point, like in a career or something, I feel like I would want people around to tell me like the truth, not just oh yeah, oh this sounds great, thumbs up.
It's harder and harder the bigger you get, and I'm sure I'm sure you don't even, when you've been living that life for so long, do you even know that people aren't being honest with you? Or
yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, even where I am in life right now, I just like to be surrounded by yes men. So forget I said
Sean,
anything.
you're the best. Everything you do is so good.
Thanks, Nate.
All right. So the next track, so the last one sounded like a Deep Purple song. This one sounds like could be another Whitesnake song. It's called "A Fool in Love." Uh-oh. This is like John Poison so far. Let's see if it changes. Oh, mentioned Gypsy. He got it this far in the album without mentioning gypsies. He's treading dangerous ground right now with the blues, but we'll see.
Kind of got a crying in the rain at the beginning where da-na-na, da-na-na. But I mean, that's not a stretch because that's very bluesy.
Yeah. Ooh, I like the chorus. It's an unexpected chorus from what we've heard of the bluesiness of the song.
Yeah, for how kind of predictable he's being for the verses a little bit, he's making up for the choruses.
And that chorus was very like classic Whitesnake.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like he's kind of, I don't know if he was in a place where on this album at this point in his career he was reaching back a little bit to not only his influences or people he was ripping off, but also to early Whitesnake, to get in touch with early Whitesnake roots,
Yeah, it's definitely it's like a reset for the band. And maybe, I don't know if that was conscious or unconscious, to kind of write songs in that. And maybe part of it was because this started off with years of touring and doing all the old songs and some of the newer songs. And maybe in playing those songs a little bit more, he got more inspired by them. I don't know.
Well, yeah,
I mean, up a lot of different stories about what may have happened, but it sounds like he's going back to his roots a little more.
I mean, sounds like a good marriage of classic Whitesnake and 80s Whitesnake.
With much more, I think the songs on this are much more, I don't know what the right word is. They don't sound as generic as the songs did, I think, on like Slip of the Tongue. Like, I feel like this is like got that modern heavy sound to it, but has a lot of musicality that may have been missing on some of the more recent Whitesnake or quote Whitesnake albums that came before it.
Well, you remember there was that one that we heard that was supposed to be a Coverdale solo.
Right.
So this one sounds like he's just totally embracing the Whitesnake banner.
I really like this chorus the more I hear it.
Very catchy.
The bluesy part, though, not quite as much. Wow. Was really going deep on that. Good energy on the songs too, from everything we've heard so far. Doesn't sound like anybody's phoning it in. Everyone's giving a really good, solid performance. Wow. All right. A Fool in Love. John, what do you think?
Whoops. The spreadsheet is eluding me. I'm fumbling with it.
He's fumbling. It's early.
All right. Man, I think I'm gonna give it another 4.
Oh my goodness.
No, I feel this song is like backloaded with good songs. Like we got a couple of good ones up front, and then it dipped in the middle, and now it's kind of getting strong again. I didn't love the intro. It was one of those, let's make it sound like old timey radio for the intro.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
it's
it's
been
so
done.
dated.
Yep.
It's a kind of a dated technique, but yeah, I guess the way that they faded it in was good. And I noticed a lot of there was some kind of melodic things that were similar to Crying in the Rain, even Blind Men that I picked up on. But there were other things like the chorus, which we both loved, sounded fresh. It sounded really good. And that's what I like is like Coverdale just dun 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 type of blues thing, which we all know. But he doesn't linger there for too long, and then he goes
Yeah.
on to this kind of melodic chorus that doesn't really sound bluesy, but it's not quite poppy either. It's just it's catchy.
I loved the chorus, yeah. Yeah, when the first kind of when that started, I was like, oh boy, John's gonna hate this song. And
Well, only if
yeah,
they did it for the whole song.
there was still that ding 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 ding. They kind of
Yeah,
went
but-
back to that a few times.
But even that, they didn't do the whole thing. He kind of
Yeah.
did it and then put a little twist on it. So it's like while I was getting annoyed with it, they changed it around, and I'm like, okay, all right, I see what you're
in
doing.
the process, in the middle of getting annoyed with it, he turned you around. But yeah, it definitely it's skirted around all of those tropes in a way where it didn't
Yeah.
it didn't it's a little, the songs on this album are all quite long, but
They don't feel long
far
though.
don't feel as long as they are. That was over 5.5 minutes.
Wow.
Even that Summer Rain was like over 6 minutes, and it didn't feel like it either. So
Wow, no.
like they're making these songs interesting, despite, I think, really playing with fire with how long they are. I'm gonna give this one a 3.5.
All right.
I loved the chorus, but I thought some of the bluesy things are a little too. I feel like
a little too bluesy.
The chorus seemed like it didn't really fit with the rest of the song, but it was great. So anyway, that's where I'm at. The next one also sounds like another song, but this one isn't a Deep Purple song or a Whitesnake song. It sounds like the title of a Biz Markie song, and this got what you need, or is it you got what I need? You got what I need, I think, is the Biz Markie song. Here we go. Whoa.
Another one. Good riffs.
Okay. Wait.
See what he's doing?
Okay, he was really pushing it with that one, but I feel like he didn't.
Yeah. See what I mean? I'm ready to get pissed, and then he turns
John's
it around.
Always ready to get pissed.
Accurate.
A backdoor man.
I like this. I like how they kind of have a little bit of the slide guitar going on.
Yeah. I feel like it's
that.
got that bluesy sort of what could be a generic blues thing, but again, they take it in a different direction. Oh. Yeah, Reb's pulling out all the stops on this one.
Yep.
I like how it's cool how they're changing the feel in the background there too. Damn, that was
Wow.
pretty high energy for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, weren't even saying that much because we were just grooving along.
No, it was there was a lot going on in that one. I like the lyrics. When the sun goes down, I feel my temperature rise. I'm a backdoor man, baby. I'm specialized.
I mean, yeah, the lyrics are leaving a little bit to be desired, but
There was some other thing there too. Wasn't there a thing where he says, make me bleed. I feel like when you say need and you rhyme bleed with it, I feel like it's too like. It's also like, what does that mean? Make me bleed. You really want to make him? Do you really want her to make you bleed?
eh,
I'd be like, don't make me bleed.
yeah, get some band-aids, get to the first aid kit.
No, don't get band-aids. I don't want them to be necessary.
Oh. Just stay away.
No, don't stay away.
Just don't make me bleed.
Let's make this happen. But I don't want to be bleeding.
Just no blood.
No blood.
Bloodless.
But if we can,
likes
if
it
there's any way
bloodless.
to avoid it. But
Got it.
anyway, got what you need. Does this song have what you need, John?
I think it may. I think it's going to get another 4.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what's going on here. It's
This late
It is.
Whitesnake is just getting John.
yeah, it's getting me all worked up. No, again, I gotta give her props there. It's still like just when it's going into that territory.
Yeah,
It's like,
that was skating
like-
on the very edge. Like again, he's like he is like Icarus. He's just on that one song he did fly too close to the sun, but on this one he
pulled back
backed
a
off
little
bit.
bit. But you see, that's what I
wings were
like, though.
starting to get a little soft though.
But yeah, well, but you know what? I like that. I appreciated that. This is like he's referencing that and he's going back to it, but he's putting enough of a spin on it where I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying this. I don't feel like you're, he's being cheap with it or
Yeah.
that it's kind of like a second rate version of something else. I mean, and I mean, I guess if you look back to what Coverdale's roots are is that's the same thing as all the other blues bands and Zeppelin as well is that kind of stuff. So like they didn't invent it, so maybe he's just even reaching further back into there and putting a twist on it. But whether he's kind of referencing himself or them or his roots, but either way, it was enough where, like we keep saying, it's modernized to the time. Like the songs sound fresh. The sound is fresh. I mean, I love the guitar in there where it was just kind of doing that little slide thing. Because if he played it straight and he didn't do that little slide on all of those notes, then it would have been, I think, boring.
Yeah.
But they were I don't know. I mean, the lyrics, they were kind of but usual Coverdale just kind of reaching into his bag of horny old tricks, but
Bag of horny tricks.
his horny bag of tricks.
Horny
But
tricks are not for kids.
yeah, but I mean, we know that I'm not a big lyrics person, so I can
And
forgive
it's
it.
also it's like Whitesnake. You know what you're signing up for. You just like, oh my goodness, this guy is singing about sex. I don't believe it. Like you, I mean,
Sex.
you have to go into it understanding that, but at the same time, I think you can. There's some of the like lyrics are it was a little cliched or whatever. Like I don't mind that he's horny because he's always horny. You just have to get over it. But, bring you to your knees and make you
He's
bleed
always-
and all this stuff. It's just okay, enough.
I don't mind he's horny. He's always horny.
Yeah, I mean, if you mind that, then you shouldn't be listening to Whitesnake. It's just
Yeah. Oh shit.
All right, so I will. I'm struggling with this one a little bit, but I'll give it another 3.5. I did like it. I again, like with everything else on the album, really high energy, really, just pushed it a little close to that Zeppelin edge again, but kind of everything you said. It's again still continuing to be pleasantly surprised with this album, and we can only be pleasantly surprised for so long because there's only one song left, and that one is called "Till the End of Time." Another acoustic intro. The kind of you call this like bayou blues sound almost.
Yeah.
So far away from you, my darling, I feel we wear down to my bones. Coming home,
That's definitely a 12 string.
that I'll never
Oh yeah.
ever leave you alone. I will love you deep as the ocean.
Wow.
I will love you till the sun don't shine. I won't rest till you're beside me. I will love you till the end of time.
Oh, that sounded like Blaze of Glory. Reminiscent of it.
I left my home to seek my fortune. I left you
Oh,
standing
he said fortune, but he didn't say he was a soldier of fortune.
Maybe this is the prequel.
I'm lost, so tired and lonely, and I'm just trying to find a way to get back home. I will love you deep as the ocean.
This is another one where I think the song is the chorus is great.
Makes me think of Sail Away.
Oh,
Sail
yeah.
Away from Burn.
Yep.
Beside me, I will love you till the end of time.
It reminds me of here I go again referencing Flight of the Conchords, but they have this song where it's like, you know, I will climb the highest mountain, I will swim the deepest sea, and then basically the other guy's like, would you really do all those things though? Like, and he's like, no.
I couldn't.
And that's kind of
Physically,
like
I
what this
couldn't.
one is. Yeah, like the Sail Away resemblance is really good. I don't think I would have picked up on that, but then also it's got like that Soldier of Fortune kind of vibe to it, and I love that really subtle, like, I don't even know what it is that comes in on this chorus, if it's keyboards or what.
I'm actually very proud of myself for like being able to pick up on some of these other songs.
I'm proud of you too, John.
Because usually I can't when I'm listening to a song. I can't think of another song.
But I think it's because those are songs you know so well. It's harder when it's like a song that you like just can't quite put your finger on. I like that what they're doing here at the end with that. Long fade to end the album.
So, I mean, this is definitely one way to go for the end of the album.
Yeah.
Doing the kind of the slow blues ballad.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm okay with it because it wasn't bad and it wasn't generic. You know, because we always talk
No.
about some albums where they're really good and then they kind of go out with like a clunk
Yeah.
and or a thud instead of on a high note. And I think this one is pretty good because there's a bluesy stamp all over the whole album. So this is not outside the reach of what has been on the rest of the album. Plus, I mean, we gotten like 4 or 5 solid rockers in a row. So,
Yeah. Yep.
you know, I guess I can't complain.
Yeah, so we started off this half of the album with the acoustic kind of starting song, and then we ended with an acoustic. So it's really only those 2 songs, I think, on the whole album that are really more down tempo.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what are you thinking you're going to rank this one?
I think 3.5.
All right.
It was good. But I don't know. I guess it didn't hit me like some of the other ones. Like it was good, but it didn't have that push to put me over the edge to give it like another 4 plus, you know. But it definitely wasn't like less than a 3.5 in my mind, I guess. Like it wouldn't like a 2.5, like halfway. Like I like that. I think a lot of it too is the production. Too is like because I could hear like a definitive. Yeah, that sounds like a 12 string, where sometimes you can't really pick that out when you're listening to an album, or maybe you can, but it's produced really clear, really well. And I like the familiar melodies in there from some of the other songs that we know and love, which I think is less him really ripping himself off, but I mean, it's just his songwriting style, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, when you mentioned the kind of clarity of this one, if you're looking at the other songs, like the more rockers on the album, you can see like during the rock part, they're just brick wall, you know, and on this one, it's really looks almost like it's harkening back to. It's not quite there. It's still pretty heavily compressed, but it's
Yeah.
not brick walled in any. Of course, there's not a. It's a much more subdued song, but yeah, I like when you get that real good vibe right off the bat with the bass drum and the tambourine hitting at the same time, and that kind of slightly distorted slide guitar, harkening back to the Bon Jovi song or is it John Bon Jovi that did the what was it, Blaze of Glory?
I think it was John Bon Jovi solo.
John Bon Jovi with Jeff Beck on guitar.
And
But yeah,
uncredited Jeff Beck, I believe.
He's not credited on it?
I feel like he wasn't because I feel like a lot of people didn't know that was him. And then when you say it was him, like I think it was Pot of Thunder had done it.
Yeah.
And they and don't quote me on this. I'm not sure if they said that he was uncredited or they're just like Jeff Beck on the side. As soon as they said that, I was just like, and I heard the solo, I'm like, oh shit, it is. But it's like all those years of hearing it and not knowing either because, you know, I just didn't bother to find out or whatever. It was just never clicked. And then you're just like, oh, that it sounds exactly like him.
Yeah, you hear the song a million times, so you don't even really think about it after a certain point. But then you hear the solo and you're like, oh yeah, that's very Jeff Beck. I am going to give this one a 4.5. I really liked it. It's I think my favorite song on the album. At least by rankings, it is. Almost toyed with giving it a 5. Yeah, I think 4.5 is a solid ranking for me. I really love this one. I think there's a lot on this album overall that just harkens back to the stuff about early Whitesnake and early Coverdale solo stuff that I love.
Yeah.
And even Deep Purple to a lesser degree, but some Deep Purple callbacks too. So there's parts of it that a lot of it does it without being derivative. But then there's stuff that's derivative of Zeppelin, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I think. I think while you fumble with the spreadsheet, I will thank our next round of patrons. And that is, of course, our core level patrons coming in at let me scroll all the way up here. Coming in at the $6.99 new nice price tier, we have Spike's Ghost and Sugar Tea. At the episode $6.66 tier, we have Steve Coldwell.
Steve.
Arthur Smith.
Getting support from the patron Arthur Smith.
Anton Glaving.
Pain in the glaving.
And Charles Meadows. At the $6.65 almost evil tier, we have Kenny Wymore and Richie Sucksmith. At the 70 Norwegian kroner tier, we have Kai Runa, yes, I'm Norwegian, Olsen. At the $5.99 the nice price tier, we have Robert Smith. At the 60 kroner Scandinavian Nights tier, we have DJ Newt Martin Johansson. At the €5.50 tier, Merlin Rota. At the $5 moneylender tier, we have John Convery, German Heindel, Adrian Hernandez, Jesper Alman, Alexei the Perfect Stranger Slepikoff, Kev Roberts, Percival Frequency, Scott Zerns, Cynthia Doobie, Ralph Calf.
You guys ever have sex?
Coyote Bongwater. John Maselli.
Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to bathe I go.
Sarah Sanders.
No, Kelly Clarkson!
Jelly Bean, Evan Robeson, Purple Swede.
Hookah shaka, hookah, hookah.
Swede.
Sweet, 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 sweet.
And our new patron, Ralphie Lee. Thank you so much to all of you for your generous support of the Deep Purple podcast. And you know what time it is.
We're just busting out the spreadsheet, and he's fumbling with the tabs. Oops, he sorted it the wrong way. Now he can't tell what he's got.
All right, John, where does Whitesnake, Good to Be Bad, fall in our overall album rankings?
Whitesnake, Good to Be Bad. It's good to be kind of in the middle. 7.32 combined rating, which I'm actually surprised. We only had a 0.05 variance. I liked it more, but I feel like I generously was giving out 4s. Like I gave 4s to like half this album.
Yeah. I was thinking it was going to be a huge variance, but it's not.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I think, but it was weird because the songs that I gave a lot to, you gave less to, and then like the last song, for instance, gave a little bit less and you gave it a point more, but either way it balances out. So yeah, it's about halfway on the spreadsheet, and it is surrounded by such classics as, it's a 7.32 is also Ian Gillan, Toolbox, and Mind Transplant, Alphonse Mouzon.
Yeah, I got 0.1 more than that. And then 0.1 less than a very recent episode, Rory Gallagher Calling Card.
What do you know?
So yeah. And again, it's on our spreadsheet is, I mean, the margin from first to last. If you take out the last few albums on here, like everything from, the last 10 albums or so, the margins are pretty tight on this. We've just had some, we've had some Warhorse, we've had some, some other albums. Barbie Benton. Barbie Benton is laying very low. I don't know if she'll ever be kicked out of that bottom spot.
Well, you never know. You never know. We might have the fucking Flaming Lips on here someday, and
we'll just do a Flaming Lips album. Not even related.
And you'll be like, I can't find it, and I'll be, because it's off the spreadsheet. That's how far down it is. It's not even on the spreadsheet.
I deleted the column.
We'll just know it's below.
Yes, if their version of Smoke on the Water was an album, it would be dead last.
If their version of Smoke on the Water was an album, I would hurl myself out into the street.
All right, so Good to Be Bad. There was a Japanese bonus tracks, was All for Love with a Doug Aldrich guitar solo, and then an acoustic version of Summer Rain, which is also included on Unzipped, which I don't know if you can see back there. The European bonus disc had a bunch of stuff, including live versions, all that sort of stuff. And then recently, I think in the last couple of years, he released Still Good to Be Bad, which was another one of his box sets, which are all coming in kind of the same general like packaging, but really great stuff. CDs, a beautiful hardcover booklet, and not super expensive, $50-$60 for this 6 CD set or something. So it's been really all the ones I've gotten Unzipped. I got the Into the Light one. I want to say I got another one, but I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just those two, but they're wonderful. For if you're a collector, you should definitely pick them up. And after listening to this, I'm like, man, maybe I will pick up the Still Good to Be Bad. It just seemed weird because he's come out with this box set of this album that to me seems so recent.
Right.
So anyway, and
it came out almost 20 years ago.
I know, right? It came out the year we got married, and we're doing our 17th anniversary this summer. So
you and your wife, not us.
Yes, John and I.
You made it sound like when you and I got married, everybody's like, "What?"
It took. We didn't mention that. It took 324 episodes to mention. We never mentioned that we're married.
It's a long distance relationship, but we make it work
somehow.
We Zoom once a week, and that suffices.
Exactly, that's enough.
Thanks for doing all the heavy lifting, Jen.
Yeah, she's cleaning the kitchen probably as we speak. Okay, so this one, I'm not sure. I think I have some stuff about the charts in here somewhere. I got a ton of reviews, but I'll just do a kind of a quick overview because we're going a little longer than I would have thought on this one. But I don't know. Before I do the reviews maybe I should do the next round of patrons. Yeah, let's just throw in the next round of patrons just for fun. We'll do our core level patrons our foundation level patrons at the £3 50 Deep Purple New York tier. We have Mr. Lord Longford. At the I'm fumbling with the spreadsheets now. Here we go. At the £3 aromatic feed tier, we have Simon Ford and Richard Brees. At the €3.50 tier, Weston Supermare Pilgrim. At the 293 pence tier, we have
Blackmore Tights.
At the $3.33 halfway to evil tier, we have Stephen Sharp and Duncan Leask.
Dancing I want it, dancing I want it, dancing I want it.
At the $3 Nobody's Perfect tier, we have Peter Gardot.
Skibidi Ohio Riz.
Ian DeRosier. Mark Roback. Stuart McCord. Ivan Fjeldbu. Runar Simonson. Ruinous Inadequacies, Corey Morissette. Joe Dopefish Sigler. Adam Cork, Tim Wood, Steve Down to Earth Kohler, Michael, and
new patron
Matt R. At the $1.71 I want my own tier, we have
Rich, Youngwee, Shayla.
at the 10 Cold Hard Danish Kroner tier, Karsten Lau.
Cold Hard Danish Kroner.
And at the $1 made up name tier, there's the Lay Down Your Grave Leaky Mausoleum, Stephen Somerville the Concerto 1999 Fanatic, Hank the Tank, Private Eyes, Ashen Lionel, Zwapper the Electric Alchemist, Anders Engstrom, ICDC, Durple Purple, David Haddam, Graham Bonnet's Disco Pants and Haircuts.
I said, Graham, you know, our audience expects you to be a bit more dirty.
Disco Pants and Haircuts, yeah.
I'm just going to put my guitar across his head.
Eddie Lyon.
Homosexual.
And Sick Tone.
Where is she? Where is she? She's just about to close up the library.
Thank you so much to all of you for your generous support of the Deep Purple podcast. Yeah, so I'll put all the reviews in the show notes, but just some general reviews here. This one's from heavymetal.about.com. So this website doesn't even exist anymore. They give it a 3.5 out of 5. Talk about the songs on the CD are classic Whitesnake, full of big guitar riffs and melodic hooks. There's a nice combination of rockers and ballads, and David Coverdale's voice, although a bit raspy at times, still sounds great. In a different era, there would have been about 4 huge radio hits on this CD, and Whitesnake fans should really enjoy Good to Be Bad. So that is a good point. In a different era, yeah, I think there would have been quite a few hits on this.
Mm-hmm.
All Music reviews it at a 4 out of 5. Kind of goes through some of the songs. Steamhammer reviews it as 3 out of 5 as well. Wouldn't want to be singing Slide It In front of a bunch of blokes, said the Snake's David Coverdale last weekend. You don't get those sort of quotes from Foles, which may explain why the unreconstructed heavy rockers' return is being greeted with joy in older metal circles. On their first album for 11 years, the veteran band David Coverdale now jokingly dubs Grey Snake robustly fight off any musical developments that have taken place since 1979. Dragons are slain, winds blow, heads bang, solos twiddle, and bodies shake unfeasibly like a red-hot tree. It's an unfashionable as a leather raincoat, but Summer Rain and Lay Down Your Love boast industrial-strength choruses, straight from the days when the sight of Coverdale and Codpiece on MTV convinced alarmed parents to lock up their daughters and stuff loo rolls in their ears. My goodness.
Yeah, lock up your teenage daughters. 40-year-old David Coverdale is coming after you.
Lock up your 41-year-old daughters. David Coverdale's coming.
Or actually, no, didn't we say in 87? I mean, he was still mid to late 30s. Was he late 30s? I can't remember. I remember
I think he was.
Or
no,
is
he
he
might
just
be right.
about...
He might have been late 30s, yeah. But
yeah, I mean, I remember us
10-year younger folks that we were seeing. He was.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I just remember thinking we thought at the time, and even when we were reviewing the album, that he was way older, and we're like, oh, it was 38 or something, which is not, But I mean, I know at that time that was ancient to everybody.
I love on Twitter whenever he posts something, there is you start to recognize these 50 to 60-year-old thirsty women who are the first to comment on everything. Oh, David, you're so naughty. They just all say this thing. Just oh, David. And they all comment. And you start to recognize these women and you're just oh, man, they're really. But it's it's like that with anything. You go on.
Yeah.
It's better than the creepy men who comment on Facebook posts. If there's any woman, there'll be some young whoever the youngest hot lady is out there will post a picture, and there'll be some super sketchy looking older dude in his 60s that'll be like, yummy or something. And you're just like, oh man, so gross. And then you like, I love like every so often I'll see something like that and I'll click on the profile and it's like a guy with his grandchildren in the picture. It's like, oh dude, you know they can see this, right? It's so disgusting.
Yummy.
They do. They say creepy stuff like that. It's like, dude, can't you just like leer at the picture and not comment? Like, what do you think you're getting out of commenting? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, really. I mean, honestly, these days, anytime I have an urge to comment on something, be it emailing an email reply to somebody at work, something online, I just think it. I take a couple of breaths and I'm like, all right, I'm good. Nobody needs to hear
You're
this.
always best not to comment. And then it's
Nobody needs
something
to.
like this. Do you think she's going to read this and be like, you know what's been missing in my life? This skeevy old dude that lives in Idaho.
This guy.
this guy. This is what I need in my life. Anyway, then IGN.com, interestingly enough, they have a weird ranking system, but it's an 8.1 out of 10. I wonder what pushed it up to that 0.1. Jim Kaz wrote this review, but says, let's try to go to the summary here. No Whitesnake album would be complete without a couple of big ballads, and this one's no exception. All I Want, All I Need recalls the prior hit Is This Love and is eerily similar to the soul standard I'll Be Around in its verses. But the band shines on the acoustic-based Summer Rain, which possesses all of the soul and authenticity 1,001 hair bands failed to capture back in the day. On the flip side, the addictive Lay Down Your Love is sure to rouse the haters as it unabashedly apes Led Zeppelin's Black Dog on its own seedy hard rock grooves. Oh yeah, I guess it is Black Dog, and then it's that part before the chorus is A Whole Lot of Love.
That's
but
a bunch of stuff.
It's the best song the Zeps haven't recorded in years. A few faux pas aside, Good to Be Bad has enough shining mega rock moments to endear itself to fans old and new. Without posturing or pretension, it just rocks. Download worthy. Our Best Years, All for Love, Lay Down Your Love, Got What You Need, and Summer Rain. Metal.de gives it a 7 out of 10. The review is in German. It's got a lot of those, those funny looking bees. I don't know what you call it. It's like that squiggly bee. It's like a capital B, but more squiggly. I'm sure there's a name for that. Metal Hammer gives it a 6 out of 7. Metal Storm gives it an 8 out of 10, saying, yes, you have the answer now. Good to Be Bad is a really good album. This is maybe not the best Whitesnake, but for sure, this is among their best releases, and that's a lot better than a lot of their albums. Coverdale is not so young now, but he still has the class, and he still knows how to write good songs. Good to Be Bad will be one of the greatest hard rock albums of the year 2008. Guys, that's good that you're back. And then this site always does breaks it down. Performance 9, songwriting 7, originality 9, production 9.
Originality 9?
7.
I thought you said originality 9.
Yeah, sorry, I might have. Shim bumps the 7 down a little bit just for that one Zeppelin.
Yeah.
This site, popmatters.com, which is now defunct, gives it a 6 out of 10. This review is by Mark A. Price. And it says, this album ticks all of the boxes for devotees of the band. It drives down the familiar lane of Led Zeppelin riffs, big choruses, and is overflowing with sexy lyrics, sexy is in quotes. While unlikely to win over any new fans, it will give the band something to sell at gigs. So take her top down, ease the seat back, slide it in, and ride her at full pelt with this blasting from her speakers at full volume. It's talking about a car or a woman. Sometimes it's good to be bad.
Sometimes you don't know.
Yes. Sexy lyrics. Record Collector gives it a 4 out of 5, saying, while 1987 has yet to be surpassed by the Saltburn singer and his ever-changing stellar cast of players, this celebration of 30 years of The Snake is a fine salute, running to 11 quality cuts of melodic hard rock. Best Years begins its amiable fashion before the beefy riffs and rhythm of Call on Me, the acoustic-shaped balladry of All I Want, All I Need, and the Thin Lizzy-like romp of All for Love, covering a lot of the things we talked about. Coverdale's gruff vocals are pitched over sweet harmonies to good effect with Summer Rain, while Got What You Need ups the fret factor. Lay Down Your Love is the nearest to classic 1987, but there's enough to be going on with it besides. And then there's another German review, which gives it an 8.0, that's from rockhard.de. So there you go. Another Whitesnake album in the can. Can you believe it?
I can, because we just did it.
I think there's only
yeah, no, I can't.
3 left.
Well, geez.
I know.
And even, I know when you say that, it's like, it sounds like a lot. I figured we were almost done, which we are, but we got a few left. So, I mean, that's, who knows when we'll get to
One of them is
them.
the Purple album, so that's going to be people are going to have a lot to say about that. They always do every time I post anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, John. It's time to get back to the summer lack of summer rain outside, and get some dinner. And we're getting some temperatures in the 80s, and then it's gonna be back into the cooler temperatures for a little bit. And it looks like we might get some summer rain the next few days. We'll see.
That we will.
All right. Well, John, thank you for joining me once again. Listeners, thank you for joining us once again. And we will see you next week with another exciting episode of the Deep Perdre podcast.
I was going to say it, the Deep Perdre podcast. Yes, Deep Perdre.
Hey. It's Deep Perdre.
Oh, I got to... Why that was so funny.
All right, later, folks.
If you like the Deep Purple podcast and would like to support the show, please consider joining our Patreon or donating on PayPal. Patrons get full access to the podcast, Discord server, ratings, spreadsheets, and live stream invites. You can also leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts to help new people discover the show. You can follow the show on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, or Threads. You can also check out the website at deeppurplepodcast.com for show notes and more. Contact us via email at John or Nate at deeppurplepodcast.com. Thanks for listening.